Hey guys, what's going on? So I'm doing another Sony Vegas tutorial because my last one's kind of outdated. Been noticing a lot of pixelation in some of my videos and some people have been complaining about that. And I've said before that I thought that was down to YouTube downgrading their encoding when you upload a video. But it turns out that it's actually main concept MP4 that does that. So I'm going to change that around. So I'm going to update that, but of course I'm going to actually go through the settings again just in case you guys haven't actually seen my original video, and therefore this is a tutorial to get the best settings. So those of you who have seen my last video, you can skip to like about halfway where I actually get into the render settings. But let's start from the beginning. So the first thing you want to do when you open up Vegas 12 is you press the properties button, okay? And you go down to view transform and turn that off. That's the first thing you want to do. Now then you want to select the properties that you want. So I have a preset one here, so it's YouTube 1080p, so resolution 1920 by 1080. Now if you're recording at 720p, you just change that to 1280 by 720, but like, you know, or you can just use the 720p one of these ones here. But then I have field order non-progressive scan, pixel aspect ratio at 1, output rotational, you leave that at 0. I put the frame rate at 29.970 unless I'm planning to do slow motion, in which case I put it up to 59.940, which is double NTC, but as I'm not going to be doing that for this video, we'll leave it at this. So pixel format, you want 32-bit floating point, that's important. Composite gamma 1, view transform, remember, keep that off. You want the full resolution quality at best, not draft, preview, good, just best. Motion blur type doesn't really matter, I go with box, but it's really up to preference. The interlace method, none is good, or you could do either one of them. I'll stick with none for the moment. Yeah. Okay, and to start all settings with these properties. Also, audio is a good one to go for. I usually go for sample rate at 192. I put the bit depth at 24 and resample at best. But remember, the higher settings you put at these, it'll make your file size larger. So if you want a smaller file size, you can reduce this down to like 48,000 or something like that, which is probably what most people do. Alright, so we'll hit apply. Okay, so now we're ready to import our video. So I'll just go grab this video here that I started. I recorded for this purpose. So the first thing you want to do when you import your video is select the whole video, hit properties and disable resample, because when you upload it to YouTube there'll be a lot of ghosting and it won't be clear at all and it'll be horrible, so we don't want to see that. I'm deleting the microphone track because there wasn't actually any talking in that. So let's have a quick look. I always like to put in a little bit of a fade in and a fade out effect, though it's not really important, so like just check out the quality here. So as you can see, it's a Battlefield 3 video and it's very high quality, ultra settings on Operation Firestorm, which is a very graphical intensive map, so everything looks great. So I mean, I usually just add in a few color effects and stuff, but like I just color correct and change a few settings, but I've done that in the last video, so it's not really important. And also, I mean, everyone has their own preferences, so that's not really it. So most of you guys will have come for the render settings. Okay, so let's get to that now. So just click on this now. These are my settings, so I'll get out of my favorites so you can see. So you get shown a list of templates that you can use. So what I was using before was the MP4 main concept, but that actually pixelizes your video a lot and it's not as clear as it could be. So I still use MP4, but you come down to Sony and you come down to AVC MVC, which is usually under the Panasonic one here, see, right? So we'll click open that, and the one that I would use is there's a lot of options here, but the one I go for now is this one here: memory stick, SD, NTSC, widescreen, 6256 kilobits per second. So it's the one before the AVC HD 1440p, right? So go click that, hit customize template, and the first thing you want to do when you open up this is go from memory stick to AVC. And then from here, frame size, you choose your resolution, whether it's 1280 by 720 or 1920. Mine is 1920 by 1080, so we'll use that. Do not allow your source to adjust frame. Profile high. Encoding method is KBAC. There's no other method. Like I said, you match this to your properties. As this is going to be rendered at 29970, that's what I'm going to use. But you can also, like, you have other frame rates you want, but why would you want to go below that? You wouldn't, so I'm keeping it here. Do not allow it to adjust frame rate. Now field order, you want that to be non-progressive scan, nothing else, because you don't want it to interlace the video that will actually reduce the quality. Pixel rate aspect, you want that at 1. Now bitrate, again, this determines the quality of the video, so you do not want to go below 10. I'd say 15 is probably your best bet. 25 will look a little bit better, but it will give you a massive file size, and the videos I use now are like at 15 million bits per second, and they look fantastic, and they give you a decent file size, so I'd go for that. It's a good choice. Now, number of, in the last video that I did for this, I didn't know what that was, but it's actually referencing to the amount of cores that you have available. So my CPU is an FX 8320 and it has an 8-core processor. It is an 8-core processor, so I can ramp this up to use 8 cores in the rendering, which will actually render out my video a lot faster. Whereas if I put it down to like 1, it'd be like so much slower. So that's why having a multi-core processor is so much more of an advantage. I'd recommend using all the cores that you possibly can, because the more cores you use, the faster the rendering will be. And then the last thing here will be encode mode. So if you have a graphics card that can render out your video, I'd recommend using that. Otherwise, just use the CPU. So I'm using an AMD processor, so I can't use any of them. But I use rendered using the GPU anyway, which is a lot faster. So you click on this, and you have to enable it up in the settings over here in options before you do that anyway. But most people who render with their graphics card would know how to do that, and I'll show you maybe in a bit. Now we go back to the audio, we keep it at AAC 48,000. I bring this down to 192 because anything over that we're not going to be able to tell the difference anyway. System, so here you can check your GPU to see what's available. I have OpenCL available because I use an AMD graphics card, and that's their solution. If you have an NVIDIA card, it's probably going to be CUDA. So either way, they're both just fast for rendering. And then last thing you want to do is go into project, use your project settings, go to best, and there you go, hit OK then, and that's your settings. So you then click that on favorite, or I didn't actually save that, but you want to save this then as something. So best settings, and then you can put 1080p if you want, and you hit save. Okay, and then there's your setting. You can put it a favorite, and now there's your new settings. So then you just render at, create a name for your video, test, and you do that. So it'll render out, and as you can see, look at how fast that's rendering out. It's only going to take me about 2 and a bit minutes to do a 1-minute video, so that's really fast. So I'm going to put this video at the end of this video, so you can see the quality of what it looks like. So oh yeah, and also for you who want to see how to do the activate your graphics card display, you do this. You go into settings or options, and then preferences, and it's in one of these settings video, and you go to GPU acceleration of video processing, and if you have an option here like this, it'll allow you to choose your graphics card. Mine doesn't actually appear because well, I'm not sure why it doesn't appear, but that's still your GPU. If nothing appears here, just off, then you don't have a graphics card that's supported. So you just do that, and then you can, and once you turn it on in the render settings, you can use your GPU to render out the video, and it's so much faster. So anyway, again, thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and hopefully that makes your videos a lot better than what they were before. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.